even before he meets the children's characters, you know, the two bits accidentally end up getting the town to lynch. I think it's was it Rip Van Winkle? Yeah, I think they end
Yes.
up lynching Rip Van Winkle. Later on, Bit in an angry fit pushes off a major character from the Tale of Genji, which is generally considered the first real novel, not the first Western novel, Don Quixote, although I do have Don Quixote. And Bit von Rheingold interacts with Sancho Panza. I wanted to put him in a play or two. Uh, that's why I have Clifford Odets there. And talking of the public domain, you know, that I can have Clifford Odets, and I even have my Clifford Odets gives Bit the right to use his words, but he can't use them. There's some force stopping him back from using the real Clifford Odets' words, and so this, you know, leads into the the questioning of the reality that Bit is in, as well as the public domain laws and their stupidity. And then, but I am able to quote from Oscar Wilde, and so Bit and his various incarnations slip in and out. They, you know, they go through a number of different. I think there's probably about 20 or 25 different books that they slip in and out of. They repeat things here or there, and you get, I think, a greater explication of the characters. Marilla from Anne of Green Gables seems to like Bit for some reason or another, and there's all kinds of little asides. I mean, it's so large a thing, but it all comes back again sweeping to you know, and Roger Corman, the B filmmaker, is also one of the major characters of this digression, and so it's a way of using the public domain, showing how you can use it creatively. It's a way of like I said, giving an interior psychological resonance to the outer things that happen in the rest of the book, and it just sort of grew on its own. You know, how to do it, how to get it all together, and then once we get past the first part of that, you get to the second part where it's, I think, an alternate version of how Paulie and Carla met, and she's pulling nose hairs, tweezing nose hairs as he's driving. They get into an accident, almost into an accident, and then, you know, it just gets more and more pared down. And the Planet of the Apes epigraph, sort of puts this in perspective, because it's talking about, you know, time bends and the squeezing of time, and uh, everything. Space is boundless. It squanders a man's ego. But the opposite is true with Bit. Bit's ego seems to get enlarged here. So there's a give and take with the quote, but that's a quote I wanted to use for many years somewhere in a poem or whatnot. But it was perfect for this chapter.